To use ContractProbe, a user uploads their draft contract, indicates what type of contract it is and who it's being reviewed for, and applies their subscription code. They then press Analyze Contract. The contract is now being uploaded to the server hosted on Amazon Web Services, and ContractProbe is looking for problems with the contract, such as terms which are not defined, which should be defined, clauses which are missing and which are harmful for the relevant person, and also clauses that are present and which are harmful. So in this case, a score of 3 out of 10 is given. The report itself is contained on the left-hand side of the page. The draft contract in full text form is set out on the right-hand side of the page. The user can get to see a summary of the types of issues which are covered by the contract. The user can also see the problems with the contract, in this case 15 undefined terms and many clauses which are missing, which should be included. Just looking at the critical problems for a moment, the 3 critical problems are that there's no cap on liability, there's no exclusion consequential loss clause, and there's a most favoured nation clause. All of these are very serious problems for suppliers and would want to be remedied. In this case, we assume the user wants to include all of the problems in the draft report that they receive. They are then taken to the next stage. All of the clauses are now set out, and the user is able to download the report in PDF format if they wish, or they are able to download the report included in markup in the contract itself. In this case, let's assume that the user only wants to see the draft clauses which have been included in the markup as a result of the ContractProbe analysis. So the clauses have now been inserted into the contract. The contract is now downloaded to the user's computer. In-track changes, all of the ContractProbe type changes are shown, and so the user is able to quickly go through using the reviewing pane and look at where particular drafting has been provided. So in this case, just to choose as an example, one of the clauses that was missing was a cap on liability clause. That drafting to deal with the absence of that important clause has now been included in the contract, and if the user wishes to continue and accept that drafting, the user will say simply accept insertion, and that drafting is now included in the contract. The pen nib is included to remind the user that there may need to be some tailoring for the particular circumstances of the commercial deal that the user is dealing with.